Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP. It is kind of crazy how your brain can remember those things.
Yeah.
Like phone numbers from when you were 8.
Yeah.
You remember your friends' phone numbers?
Like 2.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
2, yeah. Mine's probably like 2 or 3 or something like that. Yeah.
Your brain eventually, Joe, just like, you don't need to remember that stuff anymore, and you lose a lot of it.
Exactly. Cell phones, yeah.
Because remember, you used to know a lot of numbers.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. I used to know your number by heart. Nilla, by the time I met you, it was already cell phone, so I don't think I ever needed to memorize your
Your
number.
cell phone was so great. Once you had that, you could just program it in. You didn't have to remember it.
To some degree, but then again, does that make us more like, I don't know what you want to call it, stupid necessarily, but we don't need to remember certain things.
More integrated with digital.
Well, we just use our brain power for other things. So instead of using that brain power to remember phone numbers and TV channels from back in the day, now you're using that.
What do you stuff it in there now? Yeah.
Well, nothing of any real value. Like, let's be honest, it's actually probably Seinfeld lines and movie quotes, song lyrics.
My mom's always saying that. She's like, how can you can remember the lyrics to this song or this quotes from a movie, but you can't remember this? I'm like, I don't know. You hear that song how many times, or you watch that movie?
Certainly a repetition has a lot to do with it. And then, there is science about how it's the music and certain aspects of that. And it's funny now because I listen to Catalina or whatever, and she knows every single word to The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift, every single word. And she's 7, right? And that's not the only, there's several other songs that she knows really well, but yet she struggles adding 73 plus 7, right? Like it takes her
and you wonder, like,
when
are you listening to all this music and memorizing all young words, or do they just pick it up that fast?
Right. Yeah. I think it's probably a little bit of both, right? Their young brains absorb it quickly, and especially when you're really into something.
Yeah, I mean, when you're really into music, you listen to a lot of music, you were just remembered all the words to all those songs.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore, hardly.
I wonder if, like, when the kids are in the backseat or whatever, and I'm singing a song, that of course we grew up with, right? I'm singing a song or something like that. Do they ever think like, wow, Daddy knows a lot of songs. How does he know all the words to all of these songs, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they think that or not. Right?
Ask them next time.
Yeah, I will. Like, I don't know if they'll give me a good answer.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you please turn on our stuff? That's what they're going to say.
My kids are funny because, like, I pick them up. I usually have a podcast on or something like that. If it's not appropriate, sometimes I'll switch it back to the radio.
Yeah.
And I'll have to bounce back and forth between songs that Kat likes and songs that Frankie likes.
Yeah.
Kat's a little bit more forgiving, but Frankie, all he wants is loud songs. So,
like,
which is
metal?
good.
What is that?
Basically, like,
just
something
turn it
that
on no matter what it
aligns,
is.
something that's on the point, something that, yes, I mean, he loves Story of the Year, which is right up my alley. He knows Until the Day I Die for sure. So does Catalina. Which is funny because that's actually the one now that I skip probably the most. Like, I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, we know that song. So
maybe you got overplayed too much for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun, but even when I go, I go to a lot of shows. I got one coming up in just a couple of weeks. I don't want them to end with until the day I die anymore.
Mm,
Every
yeah.
single concert I've ever been to by them, their last song is always until
It's
the
like
day I
too
die.
cliche.
You know, it is. You know, it's kind of like, all right, let's switch it up, you know? And I usually know what song they're going to start with, you know? So that's something else. So I don't know if you're going to be ahead of me, Nilla.
Maybe.
Did they tie it up here? They're on the power play. It's 4-3.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's coming, man. You know, good game so far, entertaining game.
Did you see the
To
penalties
say the
earlier?
yeah,
I mean,
it's been
insane.
a lot. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's crazy that the Blues, we only had like 20 seconds of 5-on-3 time this entire year. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, wait a minute. So then
20
we
seconds?
had, you know, that's
Yeah.
until tonight. Then we had like, you know, a minute and 30 seconds. So I was like, all right, well, we just, you know, 6 times our 5-on-3
You
power
missed it
play
earlier,
time.
Dudley. It was 3-on-3 because of the
Yeah.
penalties. It's insane.
Wow.
Like, how often does that happen? You know?
Not very often.
Yeah, normally that's an overtime thing, and then we almost scored, and then they got a breakaway, and you know, so it's been an entertaining game, and we'll probably catch the end on the podcast here.
It's 4-4 now, so a lot of scoring. You know, and it's like what the middle of this.
Well,
wait, actually, no, it's almost the end.
Close to the end of
There
the
it is.
second. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you got there for the deep dive?
Well, yeah, that got all screwed up just like an hour or two ago. So yeah, my deep dive topic for tonight was the impending government shutdown. And I don't know if you heard, because it's breaking news. The Democrats supposedly just reached a deal with the White House and the Republicans, you know, on another delay, I guess. I don't know, or they're going to sign off on this and allow more time to negotiate. So yeah, they're gonna. It sounds like they're gonna fund the government. Yeah, yeah, which is kind of like last time.
Increase
you know,
just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and so their big thing, and I do still have stats. We
Continuing
can still talk
resolution,
about this.
is that what that's called?
Yeah, a continuing resolution. That's right. And that's what they did last time. They, you know, they put it off for whatever it was, 3 months. And I'm like, well, here we are again. Well, everything looked hunky-dory. It sounded like everything was going to be fine. I actually had this on the docket for last week's topic as just like a little side topic, not a deep dive. But I was going to bring it up, you know, and right before we went live or started our recording or whatever, they said like, oh, you know, no government shutdown. Everything seems to be in order. Everybody agrees. So I'm like, oh, all right, I won't bring it up. No, no big deal. Well, then, of course, over the weekend, we had another shooting in Minnesota, and another U.S. citizen was killed. And now the Democrats are in a bigger uproar, and they were going to hold this shutdown over Trump's head and the Republicans, basically saying, like, if you don't fix this ICE issue, we'll shut down the government. So they were going to hold us. They were going to hold us hostage again, right?
Yeah.
So that was going to be my story. Now it sounds like they've come to the table and they're going to negotiate. But
sure, we
it's
got
like
enough
we're
other topics.
always talking about a looming government shutdown.
Well, it seems that way
Always.
nowadays. Yes,
Right?
it does seem that way. It's always upcoming. It's 3 months here, 6 months there. Well, you know, whatever the case may be. Now, if you
We just
work
got
for the
done
government,
with the government shutdown.
well,
that was
that's
like
the
what, a
thing.
month ago or 2 months ago.
Yeah, maybe a month. I don't know.
If you were, well, it was right before the new year, so you know, October,
so
November, something like that. Yeah, I think probably resolved in November. But if you were, you know, in the military, a government employee, and you weren't getting paid, and obviously they do eventually get paid, but they missed paychecks, and now here we are again. You're going to be like, screw this, man.
Well, they're just putting unemployment for that.
Unneeded stress for everybody too. You know.
Yeah.
Like that's why
that's
why they just do the continuing resolutions, because they like to keep everybody on edge all the time. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never have
but
any
that's
stability.
Also annoying because even Schumer was on the Senate floor the other day, maybe I think even last night, you know, talking about all this stuff and the ICE stuff, and you know, he's like, we need time to negotiate, you know, and I'm like, nah, you've had months to negotiate.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then we're just going to do this again. So this might be it, they'll sign another continuing resolution, and they'll just be more. They're always negotiating, which is fine. That's part of government, but don't hold the American people or the government employees hostage every time you need to negotiate. And just because you're not in power, the Democrats aren't in power.
Says the last one began on October 1st.
Okay,
so
and it lasted, well, at least like 45 days,
so
probably
like 5
mid-November.
or 6 weeks, right?
Okay.
Yeah, probably mid-November, then it wrapped up.
So they were just talking about another one.
Oh, they actually didn't say how many. 43 days.
Okay, yep, and it was the longest one, and you know, and that's kind of what you worry about here. If they do it again, what incentive do they have to really come to the table? Now, the biggest thing, what I thought was crazy, is it was all about ICE funding and all of that stuff. Well, ICE is already funded through 2029. That's a done deal.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Right, it is awesome, but they, so whatever they're negotiating for, or whatever they were trying to hold over Republicans' heads, wouldn't have even gone into effect until 2030 anyway. So
that's kind of interesting.
I don't know.
The past shutdowns that have happened, the other one was under Trump also, right? His first term.
The other biggest one, yes, it was in his first term or longest.
And then there was, I think, another big one I saw in '96. It may have said.
Okay.
Who was that? I was just curious. I was just
Clinton.
Curious.
Yeah, that'd be Clinton. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Never mind that.
We were a little young, so I don't know the circumstances around that one.
Yeah.
96. Yeah. I didn't really start paying attention to politics. Like, I remember, but probably it was Bush Gore, and we were in high school with the hanging Chad, right? That was a big. We were probably in Mr. Travis's class. Duds.
So when did Bush go in 2000?
We couldn't vote yet, so correct.
I think it was 2000.
Yes.
So Clinton was right before him, right?
Correct.
So he was an 8-year.
He was 8 years.
92
so we had Reagan 8 years. Then we had Bush the first for 4.
Right.
So we had 12 years Republican president, which hasn't, happened in a long time. And we haven't had one since, right?
It could have been partially because of, the election fraud.
With this time well, that's a whole nother topic, and I think I have that maybe on the wheel. That could be a deep dive, I think, in and of itself. But I think
hopefully it is a deep dive
on the wheel at some point. Maybe we'll wait and let this next step, come out, whatever the information is. But
exactly.
the problem with diving into the 2020 election, not that we couldn't get ourselves in enough trouble with what we say already, but if you say that the government was stolen, you might as well just.
Isn't that
you're digging your own grave? You'll never get another job.
Isn't that proven now, though? Like, isn't that?
Well, I don't know if it actually is fully. I think they're going to, hopefully, but we'll see.
It every time it gets brought up, they keep showing new things, and it's like, wait a minute. That doesn't seem right. Maybe something is going on here.
Well, I mean, how are they still investigating this, first of all? And also, to some degree, why almost? Because it doesn't even really matter almost anymore. I mean, it's said and done. What are they going to do? Can't undo it.
They can't undo it. You're right.
What was the big thing in Fulton County? They got all the boxes.
The ballot boxes, right.
All right, hold on. Let me
700 of them?
Yeah, let me scroll down. I do have information.
Originally, I thought it was 700 actual ballots, like votes. And I was like, that's like nothing. What do you mean? I was like, 700 boxes. I was like, okay.
That's a little more.
Here's what I have. Like I said, this was for the wheel topic, so I didn't I don't have a whole lot of information, but the FBI executed a court-authorized search warrant in Fulton County's election hub in Union City, Georgia, seeking 2020 election materials, including physical ballots, tabulator tapes and records, ballot images, and voter rolls. This is being reported as part of a criminal investigation tied to federal election record preservation and potential fraud-related violations, with Fulton County officials pushing back publicly on the search. The move lands in the middle of renewed national tension around 2020 after Trump has continued to claim that Georgia was rigged. He's also floated prosecutions. So here's the thing. If the election was the most secure election ever, then nobody should be scared of this audit, right?
Sure,
No, they
Which
should
is
be.
essentially what Trump's doing.
They should be
Yeah.
happy to
not
do it. Yeah.
Of course. Like, let's prove, but what they'll say is that they don't trust this administration. They don't trust
Sure, of course.
Pam Bondi. And so anything they come up with,
Yeah.
you just throw it out. Like it's not real.
Time to riot.
It can't be
Time to
real,
riot.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Well, it was I don't remember specifically, but during the election, the last who was the last? Was that like the last state who came in with their results, or no? Or who was it?
No,
Okay,
I don't think they were.
That's what I was curious.
That is when you take an outside perspective at this and you look back at it and you see that California, Arizona,
when has this ever happened before? That you just get the results in another week or two. What? No, right now. What's going on here?
That's what it was taken. It was taken like they would just stop counting, and people were like, "Why? Why would you just stop counting?" And sometimes it'd be in the middle of the day.
It was
not like 3 in the morning
ever that had happened like that.
Yes.
Right.
These water main
that's
breaks
not obviously fraud
in
there.
multiple areas, sending people home and then continuing to count ballots. That was that wasn't fishy.
Right.
Nobody was
Exactly.
questioning that. And then, not to mention, I remember talking to my mom about that for weeks after, and I was like, there's no way that he's going to lose this election. And sure enough, they got enough votes. I couldn't believe it. It was
I couldn't believe it. I think when we went to bed, right, like 2 in the morning or something, when you're just like, all right, I can't anymore. Like it's not. They tell you it's not
gonna happen. Yeah,
it's not gonna happen tonight, right? And you're like, all right, I'll go to bed. But Trump was leading by a pretty good margin.
There's a spike.
And then when you woke up, at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was like President Biden takes the lead.
They found a suitcase full of them. They all happen to be for Biden.
The one about Fulton County that I love is, I think it was even CNN maybe, they had a guy on and he had called Georgia. He was like, Georgia is done. It is going for Trump. Trump is ahead by 800,000 votes. I'm making this number up.
It was a lot.
800,000 votes. And there's only 1 million left votes to count. And there's no way, it is physically impossible that President Biden has an 80-20 split with these votes. 60-40, maybe. 80-20, impossible. And then what came back was like 90-10. Like President Biden got 90% of the outstanding votes.
Wow.
And that is a real story.
Yeah.
So CNN was like, no, it can't happen. And then it did. So you're like, well, who am I supposed to believe?
Yeah, right, exactly.
If you can't believe CNN, who can you believe? No sarcasm in that whatsoever.
I don't know.
I'm going to try and look that up because it was a very drastic change in the count.
Yeah. And to your point, Nilla, like why look into it now? Well, for the last 4 years, when Biden was office, of course, they didn't look into anything. He wasn't about to do it, And my point now is, I mean, if you're Trump, what can it hurt? Why not? And if you can, you got to do it. And if you can prove that something did go on, you have to do it for the integrity of future elections.
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, not that that's going to necessarily secure future elections, specifically what's going to keep this from happening again, or that they might get a little bit better at it, hopefully, because obviously this was blatant almost here.
I think there's 2 things that have to happen. One is voter ID.
What? Really?
And 2 is no mass mail-in ballots.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that there can't be exceptions. And of course there are for military and certain things.
Yeah.
But some of the claims are that college kids, were voting. I remember being in college. That was a big thing. You can't just go vote where you go to college. That's not where you live. And especially if you're out of state. But apparently that's what was happening. And in some cases, they said that they were voting twice. They were sending in their mail-in ballot for like the state of Missouri, let's say. And then they lived in Illinois going to college. And then they just walk right in. No voter ID.
Yeah, that should have already been like in the system. Like, no, you already voted. Sorry.
Right. I don't know. So how you can't have voter ID? And when you go back and look at Kamala Harris this last election, the only states that she won were the states that don't have voter ID.
Isn't that crazy?
Which it makes you
Wow.
wonder a
Very
little
fishy.
bit. Like it'd be a pretty big coincidence.
It's also
Mhm.
fishy
You gotta ask
how
me.
many more ballots were cast in the 2020 election than
Yes.
any other election ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trump had
insane amount
more votes that year, I think, that he did in both of his other years,
Mhm.
and he still lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's insane.
Right, because Biden had more than any president ever.
Or
Which
did he?
again, that has to tell you something. They sent out the mail-in ballots, and either more people voted than ever because they made it super easy, or there was voter fraud.
Well, yeah,
Which
the
is
people who are
probably-
like
I lean
yeah,
towards
dead
voter
and stuff,
fraud.
probably the people who were collecting the Social Security and stuff too, who were already dead, they were probably voting.
Of course.
All right, so
Yeah,
here
it's
you
all,
want to
it's
hear
all that same
you
stuff.
want to
Oh,
hear
what
a
do you
couple of these? All right, so
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Let's see. Trump was leading by 100,000, and then a large batch of 169,000 absentee ballots from Milwaukee County were reported, and then Biden surged to a 20,000 vote lead.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, it's like that's math on the site. It's hard to do the
Yeah,
math there,
right.
but he was up by 100,000, and now
And then it swung to Biden being up 20,000.
Yeah.
So it was a
right. So he needed 120,000
vote
of those.
swing.
How many were there? 170.
69. Yeah.
Right. So round up 100. So he got 120. So he got
Out of
2/3.
169. Yeah.
2/3 of
roughly.
all of those absentee votes.
Yeah.
And most absentee votes, are they not from the military? You would think most military people are voting for Trump.
You would think that should be the biggest one that you could do an absentee for.
Yeah.
was,
I mean, who else is doing? I mean, I guess
Michigan?
college kids can,
Guess. What is that?
yeah.
Trump was
Michigan?
leading by 300,000, and then Biden pulled ahead by 18,000. Let's see, absentee ballots from Wayne County, Detroit, and other Democrat areas processed full flip by 9 a.m. So he flipped from being up 300,000 votes
To down
being
18,000.
down 18. Yeah, overnight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of
Yeah.
absentee.
Now,
Trump was
Now,
leading
of course-
700,000 in Pennsylvania, and then Biden took the lead by 6,000.
Oh, only 6,000. Don't want to make it
Yeah.
too obvious here.
Right. You remember they kept counting for like a week afterwards, and it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I mean, how many per day were they getting in? It was insane.
Well, and that is what's crazy is like, why is it taking so long to count? Now,
Georgia,
going
Trump was
back
leading
to
by 100,000, and then Biden pulled ahead by 900 votes.
I mean, really, how it should
900 votes.
Yeah.
how it should be is at that time, whatever, let's say, set a time at that time of night, that day. That's it. The ones after that, they don't even matter anymore. They're irrelevant. Counting is done. Guess
Well,
what?
so that was I don't know if you can go that far, but that was part of it. Part of the conversation was that some of these absentee votes or mail-in ballots were coming into the system, and they were they were that day. People registered or voted that day, and they were after the time limit, but a judge, probably a liberal judge, ruled that they could be counted. Some of them didn't have signatures, but they were like, count them anyway.
There was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much, and there was a bunch that they would have absentee ballots that they just voted for the president. They didn't vote for anything else.
Sure.
They said
Yeah.
that's really uncommon for an actual person to send in a ballot or to do any ballot where they
Yes.
only vote for the top.
Yeah.
The
I
top
don't think I
line
did
vote.
all of them,
Don't
but I
do
did,
anything
a
else?
couple. I mean, I didn't do like, just
You shouldn't
that
do
one.
the ones that if you didn't do your research, if you don't
Right.
know, you shouldn't
Sure.
vote. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't mean at least half of them.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It's
Well, he
It's
also
interesting.
he won more counties than any other president nominee in history. Yeah, he had won
That
like
long.
all but one of the bellwether states.
So
or
that's what I was
counties.
just about to bring up, these bellwether counties, which I don't
Yeah.
think I had ever heard of before this election, which supposedly these are the biggest like swing counties or telltale counties. Basically, like if you win these,
I think 9 out of 10
you're-
of them went to Trump.
and yet he still lost.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's just a lot of irregularities, things that don't add up. And it
More
does.
people
It
voting, more
makes you
votes
wonder.
cast than people on the voter rolls.
Well, and they
is
were able to
Georgia
get away with it because of COVID.
Is Georgia a swing state, or what are they generally?
So
They
was
are a swing
COVID
state
was COVID
now.
a planned
No.
option?
No.
When do we go back on that?
Deep dive? No.
I don't know. You would hope
My
not,
boss
because
is
like
pretty convinced that that was all 100% pushed out to influence the election.
I mean, if somebody did that on purpose, whether it's the
Somebody,
shadow
yeah.
government, the syndicate from the X-Files, the whatever it may be, the aliens, I don't know. Like
China.
a lot of people did die.
Well, I know, but think
you know,
about
so
this.
like
Think about
Right.
this. If you're the one in control of the numbers, like the CDC or the WHO or whoever, right?
yeah.
Well, the numbers
And-
were also wrong.
And you look at the
Right,
numbers,
right.
like they have published statistics that the flu was like non-existent that year.
Oh, yeah.
No, what 100%. The flu
So
did not happen that
the
year.
flu kills people.
Nobody died from the
every
flu either.
year, right?
Yeah.
So there was
Right.
a lot of deaths that probably should have been attributed to that.
Well, you know what? Somehow in the year 2020, not a single person died of a motorcycle crash. How is that possible? Now,
Nobody
I'm being
cared.
a little facetious,
Yeah.
but you know, there were instances where somebody died of a motorcycle crash and they happened to
COVID.
test positive for COVID, and so they
Yeah.
marked them down as a COVID death.
Or a terminally ill cancer patient.
Sure, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right. Complications,
Like, yeah,
because
if
of
you get
COVID, but still,
COVID,
come on.
Yeah, you're
Right.
gonna die. And that's who everybody, I think, that has a brain understands that is what was killing people, was the comorbidities. Right?
Yeah.
There was underlying issues with a lot of people.
Sure. Yeah.
The flu does
You know,
exist again, though, now. Just so
Yes,
you know.
it's back.
It's
With
back
So is
vengeance.
COVID still.
bigger
COVID's still
than
here,
ever,
though.
right? Well, the flu's not going to go away per se.
COVID
but
was always around. The coronavirus has always been around.
Coronavirus,
Yeah.
different types of coronavirus for sure. What I do think though, and I don't know if has anything to do with mRNA vaccines, which now I think people are more skeptical about. But AI, I really wonder if AI can solve the flu, right? Because there are flu shots, there are, but then there's always a different strain, and they didn't
Yeah.
plan for the right one, and all the
Sure.
stuff. And I had told my wife, I was like, I only got a flu shot once in my life, as far as I know, unless it was when I was a baby
Yeah.
or something like that. And it was the year my daughter was born. My wife was insistent, that I get one, and I'm fine. So I did it, but I didn't do it when Frankie was born, and I haven't done it since.
Same.
Mhm.
And now you read these new studies that say when you get the flu shot, you're actually your chances of getting sick,
Way higher.
not necessarily from the flu, are way higher. So you get sick from other things.
It screws up your
So-
immune system.
Yes, it screws up your immune system, and you might be protected against the flu,
Yeah.
but now all these other things are coming at you that your immune system would have been able to fight off. But now, since it's weakened, in a weakened state, it can't fight these things off. And so recently, my wife and my daughter were both sick, and guess what? They're the only ones in the family that got the flu shot. Me and Frankie holding strong. The men,
You know
the
what I
men
think the
holding
key
strong.
is actually to have kids, because
Oh yeah.
they're always gross and sick.
It's
So
the best.
you are
of the-
exposed to that, and you build
Right.
your immunity up.
Right. But
For
hey,
sure.
but during COVID, let's all stay inside, not go anywhere or see anybody or do anything. Guess what? Your immune system was so weak that guess what? Everybody got COVID, but it wasn't because of that. It was because they had no immunity.
Yeah.
Right.
when
But
you're
then,
shut in your
that's what it
house.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you met anybody that swears that they didn't have COVID?
I don't know. I mean, I think I had it, but I was asymptomatic, and
Yeah,
I never had like a positive test from it.
I never had a positive
I
test.
only
either.
tested once.
Yeah, you only tested once, right? See,
Yeah,
I had
and
to
it was
test a lot.
negative, but Jane had it positive. We slept in the same bed. I mean, so come
Sure.
on, I had to have had it.
Yeah, well, that was my COVID party, right? Is that how
Yeah.
when Jane got it? My
Yeah, I
COVID
think
party?
so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Halloween 2020,
I didn't
baby.
ever lose my
Super
taste
spreader.
from it, so I might not have ever gotten it.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, definitely from my COVID party, Caroline got it, and then I got it. She lost her taste and her smell, and I only lost my smell, which is better than losing your taste, I guess.
They kind of go hand in hand a little bit, but yeah.
I guess
Such a
so,
weird,
but it is a weird symptom,
Yeah.
and when you
Yeah.
have it, it's weird. And I do understand how that would be a little scary because, like, imagine if that never came back. You
Well,
just
sure.
had
That'd be
no sense
terrible.
of smell or taste for the rest of your life. That'd be the
Yeah.
worst.
That would suck.
Yeah, like, so, we weren't very scared of even back then. So COVID had been around for 6 months. And, at that point, we were like, screw it. We're having a party. We're having fun.
Yeah.
People were sharing drinks and eating
sure.
salsa. And
Yeah.
now of course, we all got
Super
COVID,
spreader.
so it was a super spreader event. And if we would have been in California, we probably would have been arrested.
Oh, for sure. Probably would have caused cancer actually there.
Like Gavin Newsom's foot soldiers, they would have got you.
Yep, that's right. That's right. I
Speaking
tell
of
ya.
that idiot,
Yeah.
All right. What do we want to talk about? What else?
That's
we
why I
got?
didn't know if you had other topics specifically, or we're just going to go off on tangents here like this one.
Yeah, this was a great tangent, especially for a week where I felt like,
but we're gonna circle
of
back
course-
to this.
Yeah.
It's all
I
connected.
mean,
Of course, next week probably.
well, at some point we might have to do a COVID deep dive, and we could just do this is what Joe Rogan said. This is what the media said. Who was right? We could play a game, right?
I think we all know by now that Joe Rogan was right.
Yay. So going back to
I hate talking about COVID though. I really think it's like the worst part of our,
Well, I mean, it messed up
like
the
one of
entire
the worst things I
world.
think
Like,
that we've ever had to go through.
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to work anymore now. I mean, like, there
I
is
know, is
no
everything that we're
work
going
ethic.
through
Like,
because of that? That's what I wonder.
oh yeah,
sometimes.
it changed the world. That's what I'm saying. Forever. I mean, like, people just won't even ever work the same. I mean, like, I got people work for my company, and like they're 50 something years old, and they call off for a week straight because they're sick. It's like, well, did you have COVID? I mean, like, what? Come on.
So you think it's
there's
like that's the change? Is like people are always just going to be really hesitant and like germaphobic?
They just don't care. No, I just don't. They don't care about like work. How to, like the not the what's it
work
called?
ethic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ethic. Like they just don't care anymore. Nobody works like they used to. You know what I mean?
Like a whole
It's hard to find good work.
workers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm sure we could take that back to COVID at some point. I do think it's certainly generational, but you talk about like 50-year-olds.
I think
Well,
the
right, that's what I'm
times are
saying,
changing
right.
too. Like I think the technology and just the cycle we're going
Sure.
through. I
Sure,
think
and
that
some
was
of that
bound
was-
to happen. I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
And some of that though was because of COVID. I mean,
Right.
you look at what we're doing right now. Zoom, Zoom got big because of COVID, and then everybody realized we don't have to have these in-person meetings. We can do it virtually, and we can have work and then all of a sudden that became a perk.
Right.
Yeah,
like
right.
if you want to attract the best people, and you don't necessarily want to pay them more, then
Do you
you
like
can say
that
like,
though?
oh,
Do you
well,
like working, over a
Remotely
computer
or
more
whatever.
than in
Well,
person?
I mean, so I did this before COVID, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
with my current career, it's all I've ever known. And with my current career, of course, in the past, I've worked in the office and things like that. And I love it.
but you still travel a
I-
lot and see people in person a lot too.
I do,
Sure.
but I don't see like my entire team. Like maybe once a year. I get to see team members here or there, depending on if we overlap on events and stuff like that. Yes, I travel. Travel is twofold. Like it's a lot of fun, but I'm not working a 9 to 5. Like when I travel, I'm working 16 hours a day.
Some days, the other days might
On
be
the
only two.
beach.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
beach.
Just kidding.
Well, sometimes I'm on the beach or I'm
mean,
at
if
a
the
cocktail
listeners don't
party.
know that we
Or
like to give you shit yet for that. I mean,
well, I'm sure they do at this point.
Jane actually liked it. I mean, because she got to work from home during COVID, all full time,
Right.
and then they went back slowly to 1 day a week. I think it was in the office. Like it was a Wednesday. Now they're back in
this
the
is our
office 3
fave,
days a
right?
week. But see, she loves working from home actually because it's just more comfortable, right? You don't have to get dressed.
Sure.
You don't have to
Yeah.
the waste of time to drive there, which even though it's close, the dogs love it, right? But there's a lot of people who work from home who are not working. I'd say at least half the time, right? They're like babysitting kids. They're like, who knows what they're doing? It's hard to keep track of people, but
Yeah.
certain people are okay with it. Like they work like Jane works just as well, I think, if not almost better, because there's not distractions like at work, like talking to
Sure.
people. I mean, people at work constantly, oh, smoke break here, smoke break there, go to the bathroom for, half an hour here, there, 15 minutes. I mean,
The
so
thing,
it just depends on the person.
and I also think it depends on kind of the job
Job.
and what goes into what you're doing and what what do you need to get done each day, you
Right.
know?
Sure.
Well,
yeah.
sure.
What is your
Less
job? What are
about,
you
like,
responsible
working,
for?
I need to work 8 hours every day
Yeah.
and get
Sure,
this
sure.
amount of done every hour.
Well,
It's
so
not
the
really
other
like that
thing,
so
though,
much.
the other thing to that is, and I'll start with, I mean, my typical day. I like to get dressed. It's rare that I'm wearing sweatpants to work, right?
mhm.
Like I want to. I mean, I'm not necessarily wearing a suit. I'm
No,
wearing
sure.
jeans and a sweater or something like that because I am on calls, so I want to
Right.
look nice. And I also feel like I'm more productive. Are there
Mhm.
days where I do have to wear sweatpants? Sure, but most of the time I like to get dressed. I come down, I'm in the office. Like, I don't know how people babysit kids. Just when my kids were home for snow days, it's like they come down, they're interrupting.
Mhm.
My wife gives me a guilt trip. I'm like, I am working today.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm not off. But the biggest thing when it comes down to the amount of time that you work, I think we have to take a look at AI. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, certainly. But like my boss the other day, she asked me to do this project, which is fine. And I can reference this other one, which is great. But I had this project and it was, to create this spreadsheet and all this stuff, But something that probably would have taken you maybe a couple of hours
Mhm.
before. Create the spreadsheet, get the information in there, put it on the shared drive, blast it out to the team or whatever. Well, I plugged it into ChatGPT, exactly what she wanted. I actually just took her email, which told me what she wanted. Plugged it into ChatGPT, and Duds, I don't know if you know how to do this or not, and I just taught myself via AI, is AI will code the Excel spreadsheet for you
Mm-hmm.
and then I take the code and I run it through a Python script, and Python generates the Excel spreadsheet for me. So the spreadsheet is very clearly defined,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
headers, drop down. It's got everything. Like so like not just like a normal like spreadsheet, we're just putting in information. Like this is
Yeah.
a data-driven, full analytics spreadsheet that ChatGPT was able to make for me in 30 seconds. Now, I had to teach myself how to run this Python script and do all these things, but now I can create that spreadsheet like that,
That's pretty
right?
cool.
So I just saved myself 2 hours. So she asked me to do this project. This is probably last year, where I had to create a whole FAQ for an email blast in our website. And I won't say what for. I won't give anything away per se, but come up with all these questions, come up with all these answers around this specific topic. And this was launching in 2 days. I had to have it done like end of day so they could get it to the legal team and all this stuff so we could have it up on the website in 2 days. Well, I did the whole project probably in about 20 minutes
Mhm.
using ChatGPT. And I was like, well, I can't turn this in yet.
I gotta sit on
Yeah,
this for a
right.
little while.
Like I just got it, right? And it had all the questions, all the answers, formatted properly, all
I'm
the
gonna have
stuff.
to come up with some questions to ask, to
Yeah.
get
So-
clarification on. So it sounds like I, spend a lot of
Right,
time on
right.
this.
So
Mhm.
I had all of this in there, and so I just scheduled
Just take a
send
break,
or whatever
you know?
for the end of the day. I still worked, but I worked on other
Well, that was
things.
kind of my
Yeah.
point, though, is like
Mm.
a lot of the efficiencies are becoming better. Like we're getting more efficient
Right,
just
exactly.
by technology
Yeah.
that people are using.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using
Mhm.
AI in your job, you're becoming more efficient. Like
Of course.
you still have to check things, you still have to, make sure it's doing things right, but it's helping you out a lot. It's saving you a lot of
Yeah.
time.
So do you have a little bit more time to like go do the dishes or throw in a load of laundry? Great, right? And that's definitely a big bonus. And I take advantage of that perk too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at
So when
like Nate, for instance. We know how much he works or doesn't work, and
that's a different story.
I mean, it's a different story, but it's a
Nate Dogg
along the
is
same
he
He's
is
note.
not
a
doing anything.
no, he is a quiet quitter. He is a
Yeah.
quiet quitter. He,
Well, he wants to be
get
fired, but, you know,
fired,
right.
right?
Which is
Can't
also
get fired,
interesting.
Jerry.
I don't even know that he does the bare minimum. That's what I don't understand. When he sends a text message at 9:30 in the morning and he's like, "Oh, I'm playing Xbox."
I
Like,
just started
you
working.
did
but-
one case this morning and
Yeah.
then you've moved on. Like, how
They only
I
expect
don't
them to
know.
do like 2 cases a day. I mean, what? You
2
know, I don't
cases
know.
a day? I don't know.
I mean, how long does the
Didn't
case take?
Didn't he buy like a mouse shaker or whatever?
Yeah, which I think is fairly common
think
now.
so,
You
yeah.
know, but
Although I have heard that companies can see that if it's plugged into your laptop,
Ooh.
so you have to plug it in externally somewhere to like the wall or
Like,
something
look
like
at this
that.
Right.
idiot plugged in
Right.
his mouse shaker
Yeah.
accessory to the company computer.
Yeah,
it is crazy. You know, do you guys have Microsoft Teams? Like, it's crazy how
Yeah.
quickly it goes to like yellow. And for
Yeah.
me, I have my 3 monitors. I can be on monitor 1, but if my mouse doesn't touch
Oh,
this monitor,
uh-huh.
then
know that.
it'll move to yellow.
Huh.
And I'm like, I'm still here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, right.
Right. But
that's
because
interesting.
my mouse hasn't gone over to that screen, it switches to yellow.
I
which
wonder
do
if that
think
can
is
somehow
weird.
be changed in some sort of settings or something. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's, I don't know, 5 minutes?
Yeah,
or something, maybe?
it might be less than that. Maybe
Yeah.
it depends on the
Well,
organization. Like,
maybe.
I don't know.
We don't
Yeah.
use Teams that extensively. We just use it
No.
for kind of conference calls, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a good platform. I don't mind it, certainly. But
Depends on the companies, I think, too, and what you
Yeah.
do as far as, I mean, the people you do, talk to through Teams, where are they at? Are they in your building?
Oh, you're
That's-
talking to me?
Judge, that's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's what I was
Nobody's in
saying.
my building.
We're all in the same building, so that's the
Right. See,
big
so like
reason
with
why.
my company, we're not. We're all over the U.S. I mean, we could
Okay.
be in Florida. We could be in, another part of Missouri. We could be who knows where,
We're
So
talking to
it's
people
easy.
all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
that's how it is for us too. I do
Yeah.
want to go back and say, so for that project, I got a call out from not only my boss, but my boss's boss's boss.
Wow. Do you get an A+?
I guess so.
Is that
A
like the
check mark
owner?
and a smiley face. You know,
The owner. Yeah.
I work for
The
a big
CEO.
company, so
Your
there's a
boss's
lot of
boss.
bosses
Wow.
up there.
A lot of
We
people
need to
know?
cut
bossing
some
each other
middlemen
around.
here.
So vice president of something, I don't know. But
Or something.
when he or she comes down and says, "Hey, this is amazing," and I'm just like, "Yeah, 20 minutes, ChatGPT, baby."
That's amazing. I mean, AI could have done this, but no, you did it.
Yeah, it may have been just early enough that they didn't realize that everybody was using ChatGPT, right?
Yeah,
Like it may have
right.
just on the forefront.
Just
I don't
edit the text a little bit so it doesn't sound like a robot made it.
You can do
know.
that.
You
You
gotta
can just tell it to
take
do
out
it.
all the M dashes, right?
Yeah,
Do
Get
like a
rid of all
spelling
those
error,
M
or
dashes.
something. I don't know.
All right. So what
Where
what
were
about
we? Where were we?
Minnesota? I don't know. Like, do we wanna go down that
know.
rabbit hole? I was like, this would be like 5 or 6 weeks in a row. I'm like, how is this story? And I know it keeps evolving and new things keep happening, but it's just
Mhm.
like, give me a break.
What
All right,
about,
what about this?
ooh,
though?
I got one. What about the Elon
Yes.
Omar?
Ugh. Okay.
What
I
is this
brought-
What do you
exactly?
think about the something that got sprayed on her? The guy
Yeah,
sprayed some liquid
right.
on her.
I saved
Yo.
something. I saved something on my phone.
That's all.
For this.
That
All
got to
right.
be staged. That looks so
Well,
staged.
So, do you remember when Jussie Smollett happened?
Uh-huh.
Like, so I don't want to give away names or anything, but
Mhm.
somebody had come
He
over
named
to my
names.
no naming of the names. Somebody had come over to the house and they were talking about the Jussie Smollett thing, and I hadn't heard about it yet. And they were, oh, I can't believe that this happened, blah blah blah. And I was just like, that
Doesn't
that
pass the
doesn't
smell
sound right.
test.
That doesn't pass the smell test. That's exactly it. And this was
This
before
is
it was like,
MAGA country in
right,
Chicago.
yes.
No.
Right. I was like, no. I was like,
No.
that is not what MAGA does. And I'm not saying that there aren't fringe people. Of course, there
Sure.
always are.
I don't
Yeah,
on
yeah.
care
both
who
sides.
you
There's
are.
some crazy
Nobody
people.
says
But
that.
right, that's what I said. I was like, nobody does that. And then it came out that it was all fake. Now, did you watch the video of Omar? It does not look real.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
That's what
it
you're saying.
looks
I didn't see it.
staged.
I'm telling you, she looks like she's trying to act tough in the video.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm like,
agreed.
she's a horrible actor. It just looks
So-
like so planned.
Here's something that I saw, and I saved it because I was like, this is going to come up. Poison control. These are poison control instructions when you have something of unknown substance sprayed on you. This
At
is
wash
what they
station?
say to do. They say, get to fresh air immediately. Do not touch your face. Remove contaminated clothing. Rinse your skin and your eyes with running water for 15 minutes. Wash with soap and water. Seek medical attention and call poison control.
Mhm.
How many of those did she do?
Yeah, but do you really expect her to? I mean, she's an idiot, so.
Well, what's her IQ? Less than 70, right?
Well, did they test her?
No,
I don't know, she's
that's a
defrauding the
that's a
government,
generalization
so-
and meant to be a joke. I don't want
Allegedly.
anybody
Allegedly.
saying I'm
Allegedly,
racist.
yes.
Allegedly, yeah. No, but she didn't do any of those things. It's because she probably knew that whatever was sprayed on her was just water. I don't know. Now, this guy though, he federal charges, so like, I don't know. Maybe it's real. I don't want to
looks
say one
pretty
way or
fake.
another, but
It looked pretty fake to me.
yeah.
I think it's
yeah.
going to come out
And-
that it's fake.
And then all the stuff around her right now, of course, it's not looking good.
What did he spray that with? What was like?
I think it was like a
I don't
syringe.
know.
That's what I was gonna say,
syringe.
something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that it didn't get her face at all. It,
No, it was
all
like
over
her
her-
chest. Yeah.
Right.
Ah.
You know.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway.
Uh,
Well, so what about her husband's winery and all of
Her
this? Have
brother?
you seen this?
wait.
Well, I think she's married to a white guy, isn't she now?
Oh,
Which
Well,
it
I
is
understand
funny,
about her.
you know. Kamala Harris is married to a white guy. Omar is married to a white guy.
they hate them
racist.
too. They hate white
Yeah, I
people.
know. Yeah, I know. It's strange. So,
show.
so he had this winery that was worth $1,000 or something like that. last
1,000?
year. Yeah, like nothing, and now
Yeah,
it's worth.
so-
Yeah, I think it was like 15 to 25,000 or something. It was
Oh,
not
maybe.
much. Yeah.
I think it's less than that. I'm pretty sure that at some point they wrote it down. They claimed it was only $1,000,
And now
in
it's
their
worth
taxes
millions?
or something. It's worth at least $5 million now.
Well, what
fraud? I
winery
don't
is only
know.
worth $1,000?
Well, exactly.
What do
Well,
you have in your basement? I mean, what? No.
That's like one,
Okay.
one grapevine.
Well, one of those smashers, you know, the machine they use to smash the grapes with. I don't know.
It doesn't make. And then it was like
Box
5
wines.
million or 15 million
Yeah.
or something. Was it 5 million?
5 million, I think now.
The next
And-
year. Yeah.
Yeah, in 1 year's time, and they like barely have a website. They, barely had like a phone number or whatever. I don't know. Now I did
It's
not
probably a-
verify this, so this
It's
is
probably a leaning
secondhand.
center for wine.
Allegedly, she owns a
Right.
vineyard.
Right, but so the thing is that apparently, like, it's been scrubbed of the internet. If you go and try and look up this winery now, the website's gone, the phone number's gone, because they're being investigated by, the Trump administration. And then I read something earlier that
It's like the
they
Taylor
were
Swift photos.
right, gone.
The-
They don't
It's like
exist
the only
anymore.
two things that are just off the internet.
It is kind of crazy, like how things can actually, because there are like archived
Yeah, like the
snapshots of
Wayback
the internet,
Machine and
like
stuff.
the Wayback
Mm.
Machine, all these things. It's gone.
I thought the
Go-
internet was forever.
No, not if you're Taylor
Somewhere.
Swift or Elon Omar. I
I
guess.
mean,
But
it-
if somebody has it,
could.
they can put it back on
Exactly.
anytime. I mean, you got to
Yeah.
check every day.
Right.
Yeah,
Somebody's
The dark
got it.
web.
It's
I don't
somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
maybe. We'll
I might have it.
see. I guess.
Did you see
I
the
don't-
Taylor Swift ones?
No, actually
You
did
didn't?
not.
Did you, Brad?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
did.
like,
yes. I was like, I don't know what.
how
I
did you
meant.
not? No.
I mean, they were on X or whatever.
It
you
looked
know,
very
and
real.
I mean, I wouldn't say very real.
Well, this was how
Yeah.
long ago? It was a while
They were
ago.
fake.
Well, I was gonna say this was a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Probably 2
I
years
think
ago.
it was
so
like
it was
2
still
years ago.
so certainly for the time with where AI was
Right.
at the time, they looked way better than everything else you had seen from AI.
Totally.
They very clearly were not real,
Right.
right?
Like the deep
so I think
fake
that had something to
Pictures
do with
or
it,
her
right?
breasts?
Both.
I think she has real. I think she has
Oh.
real boobs, doesn't she? I don't know.
I
Probably.
assume, but I wasn't sure if these, pictures were enhanced or something.
Enhance.
I'm sure that they were. What is that from? Enhance. Is that
It wasn't
Family
actually
Guy
Super
or-
Super
Troopers.
Troopers, yeah.
Super Troopers? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's Super
Enhance.
Troopers.
What were they doing?
Enhance.
I don't
Where's
know.
the
I
damn
don't
photo?
remember. Yeah. I don't
Farva.
remember. Man.
Do you
All
need
right,
my assistance?
I told you the third one's coming out here soon.
So what are you saying? You're going to light my country music award on fire?
You gonna light my
All right,
ass
what
on
about-
fire?
What about this? What about this story?
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
That's definitely a
Interesting.
doctor.
Look at those two photos and look
Yeah.
at how drastically they changed these photos.
I was
think
gonna
it's-
say originally that they weren't that different, but like I don't know, his face here is so like skinny and taller, and also more pale. I mean,
He
yeah,
looks like
Yeah,
a zombie
definitely
on
more
the left.
pale.
he looks like what?
Yeah,
Like a zombie.
a zombie. Yeah,
And he looks
Look
like
at
an
his
ER.
nose.
He looks like an actor on the right.
that's what I was just gonna say. On the
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
he could be on ER, 100%. On the left, his nose is crooked.
Oh yeah, it's
His
a little
teeth
pointier
are
maybe.
messed up. Yes, his skin is pale,
Dude, how
and
fuck
even
how
his glasses
crazy
on
is
the
that,
right have
that
been
they-
improved.
that they did that though? How
Yeah.
crazy
That's
is
crazy.
that they touched that photo up?
And if you look at the letters on the bottom right photo, they're gibberish, right? so AI just put those in there, and so they're not real. So it's very clearly AI. But yeah, the color is better,
Yeah,
right? His beard is trimmed
yeah.
more.
So I was thinking that too. Yeah,
His smile, his actual smile, not just like his teeth,
I
but
know.
his smile is better.
yeah.
It's wild.
So for them to take that photo, and because
Is that
they were
what
like,
they
oh,
do?
wait,
Is that what we've come to now? Like
Yeah.
to politicize everything, propaganda media is just going to take photos of
I
people
don't really
and adjust them.
understand it in first. So yeah, it's like, does that make it worse now?
Yeah, like
I mean,
if,
does that
if
make
they
it?
didn't like
I don't
him, would
know.
they make him look more like a troll?
Yeah, right.
So
If it
people
was a
would hate him?
Republican, yes.
Oh, he's ugly.
that'll-
he deserves
that'll
it.
be the next things. A Republican will die from, or
They'll make him ugly.
conservative
They'll make
from
him look like
something.
a
And yes,
Gollum, or what's it?
Well, you mean
Right.
another Republican? You mean unlike
Well,
Charlie Kirk? I mean, what?
No. Sydney Sweeney, right? They'll take Sydney Sweeney
Oh,
will
yeah.
be assassinated,
Right.
and somehow they'll make her look ugly. I don't know how.
Nobody
Have you
Damon
guys
knows.
seen
Wayans.
her? Have you guys seen her siren photos?
Or is it a magazine? What is it?
It's her new lingerie line.
Oh.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm not looking that up.
Actually, I'm not positive. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I got more productive things to do.
More productive
Hey,
things
I
to
can do those things
than-
for you, Doug. Like, come on.
AI, prioritize my day.
Yeah.
Here, just
You have
just
do all
extra
my
this
time now.
work.
photo.
Do all my work for me so I can mess around on the internet.
This photo?
Shoot, I clicked presentation. I don't want presentation. Screen. Yeah.
You
All
just
right,
did it
can
a second
see
ago.
Oh man, I don't know.
Technical difficulty.
Got it. I got
Oh,
it.
Okay. I didn't even know that was her.
Yeah,
small,
So this
you're
is
gonna
their
have to
new
zoom in.
lingerie line. And
Is that
so,
a real picture or AI?
Yeah, that's a real photo. That's real. This is her. Now I
How
can't
can
say
you
that
be
it hasn't
sure?
been touched
How can you be
up
sure?
or something.
Whoa,
Because she's
yeah,
out there
sure.
promoting all this stuff. She's just like out in. This was just in downtown LA. She was out just.
Siren,
you know.
SYRN. Okay.
Yeah, very chic.
Good for her.
Well, who knows what else we got on this page, but you
You're
know
right.
what? That's all you can say is, you know what? Good for her. She's making the most out of
Yeah, take
what
advantage while you
what
can.
she's got. That's right.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to watch Euphoria because everybody raved about it. She's in that, along with Zendaya. We watched one episode. I couldn't. My wife was just like, eh. And now they're coming out with the third season, and Sydney Sweeney's back in it. She's an OnlyFans model, I guess, in this new season of Euphoria. It's been like 4 years since the last season. So at some point, I'm
Kinda
gonna try and watch that.
I thought you were saying for a second that she was on OnlyFans. I was like, what?
No.
I was like, okay.
It's a TV show.
Euphoria,
So it's
okay.
allowed. It's allowed. Yeah, it's
allowed,
on
right,
HBO.
yeah.
Haven't heard of that one.
All right, should we do
You may have talked about it
local in
before,
the
but
Lou, or did I have anything else?
if we can make this episode not an hour and 55 minutes, might be
Yeah, where are
good.
we at right now? We got
Only
half an hour to
55,
go.
yeah.
All right. Okay, a couple more things before we get to local in the Lou. What about this VCU nurse? Did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
you didn't hear this story? Oh, so this VCU affiliated nurse, so I don't understand all of it, but she was all over X or TikTok or whatever, posting about how she was going to attack ICE with, syringes. I mean, it's going back to Omar.
Oh,
Maybe
you
that's
know
where
what?
this
I think
guy
I
got
did
the
hear that.
idea. I didn't make the connection now,
Yeah.
until now, but maybe that's where he got this idea that she was gonna, poison them and do all this stuff. Well, she got fired. Thank
Wasn't
God.
there another article that somebody shared today about somebody claiming or they were threatening to do something to ICE, and I think they were getting in trouble? But it wasn't that person, I don't think.
Well, you sent something, Duds, about, was it a Tennessee Democratic mayoral nominee or something like that? That
Oh,
said that he was going to kill Trump.
Yeah,
I think
kill-
that was an
yeah.
AG, Attorney General.
Attorney General?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. For Tennessee, right? Was it,
Yeah.
or Kentucky?
Said he was
Something
going to
like
kill
that.
him with,
Yeah, his what do you call it? Forget what it was now. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. But okay, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, this is no longer activism, right? This is like,
Yeah,
this
right.
is how we kill people or sabotage people or
Mhm.
whatever, like,
Yeah.
it's not activism anymore. So,
Well, that's not freedom of speech either. Say you're going to kill somebody.
well, I mean, no, it's
So,
not.
That's why I guess why they're getting in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to
Which
remember
they
should.
what that guy said.
I would think this Tennessee guy, has to be investigated by
It doesn't matter. They'll elect him anyways.
Secret
Yeah.
Service, well, not in Tennessee.
Well, it's true.
Yeah. Did you watch that Greg Gutfield when he goes off?
Oh,
Yeah.
on Jessica Tarlow?
Yeah, that was
Definitely.
good.
Yeah.
I try and watch the 5 every day, and then I usually watch Gutfeld as well. I mean, I'm the only one on this podcast that's seen Gutfeld live, but not to brag. He is coming to St. Louis in October.
Really?
It's a while away,
now
but
if you go to New York, the tickets are free, but if you want to watch him in St. Louis, they're $150 a pop.
Dang.
it doesn't matter. He'll probably get
Still cheaper than
assassinated
going
before
to New
then.
York, though.
Yes, sure.
What?
It's cheaper than going to New York.
Yeah, for most people.
Not to brag.
Don't have a place to stay. Don't have a connection.
Yeah, I've got that connection. All right. I don't know if I have anything else really. Nah. All right, let's do local in the Lou. And this is, I don't want to say it's not necessarily a news story per se. This came out a while ago. And it's more of a fun story, so lighten it up a little bit. But there's a new TV show that features St. Louis. Did you guys hear about this?
Mm.
So when it was announced, it kind of came up. Well, now the first trailer just dropped, and it's set to come out, I believe, in March, maybe March 1st. And I have that here somewhere.
And
yeah,
what's it about?
March 1st. The show is called DTF St. Louis.
Boy. Sounds clean.
Well, I mean, and you know exactly what it stands for. I mean, that is what it stands for.
Mhm.
DTF St. Louis. It's an upcoming HBO original limited series. So it's 7 episodes and done. And it's considered to be a dark comedy. So dark comedy. It premieres Sunday, March 1st on HBO and HBO Max. They will release episodes weekly. And it stars Jason Bateman. Already has that St. Louis, Missouri connection with Ozark.
Yeah. Actually, originally I was going to say Ozark, which was not even shot supposedly at the Ozarks.
Well, neither is this show.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Unbelievable.
What's the
Okay, and there is some reason behind that. So both Ozark and this show were shot in Atlanta or Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a lot of stuff that takes place in Georgia now. Hollywood is basically Georgia.
They have
The
a lot of
Walking
very
Deads are all
friendly,
filmed there.
friendly tax codes and stuff.
That's
for all that.
why. That is why. And Missouri had gotten rid of that, but they have reinstilled tax. There's somebody just cut. What happened? What's going on in the game?
I don't know. I wasn't actually watching, but penalty.
Call yourself a
Yeah,
fan.
I know, man. Well, I'm wearing my reverse retro
That's right.
jersey because they're wearing their actual 90s jersey. Mine's reverse, but I like it.
Looks like a Florida Panthers penalty, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
what
think
happened.
so. Well, they were showing his eye was cut, so I was like, is that a 4 minute?
Give me a
4 minute double
happening?
minor.
But it's 4-on-4 there right now. Actually, it looks like so we already had a penalty too or something.
Well, and I'm a couple seconds or a minute behind you, so you got to try not to react.
It's a second
I
period.
wasn't even paying attention recently. What?
Second or third?
Third. Now 3 minutes left. Actually, only.
Yeah.
4-4 still.
3:14 is what I've got.
Tight. Okay, so about 15 seconds roughly ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
15 seconds.
They haven't started playing yet. I know.
You need to get your internet fixed.
Well, I think it's just because I'm streaming. He's watching cable,
he's
and I'm streaming it on ESPN.
Yeah,
That's why you got to get cable, so you get 15 extra seconds.
Totally
to enjoy
worth
it faster.
Right. Okay, so here's who stars. So we got Jason Bateman, David Harbour from Stranger Things, Linda Cardellini, who you would know
for sure.
definitely if you saw her, Richard Jenkins, Joe Sunday, and Peter Skarsgård.
Never heard of those people.
So
I've heard of that guy.
Well, I guess must be one of the Skarsgård brothers.
You should pull up pictures of these people. I don't know any of their names.
But
you know what? I've shared
Jason
my screen twice. I don't need to do it.
That's too much. Yeah. I did
so
mention it before. We did need to incorporate screen viewing things more.
Yes,
I mean, video sometimes maybe.
Well, I got to upgrade the freaking package.
That's right. That's
right.
Videos? We need more followers first. Yeah.
You can't just do what you just did. That doesn't work.
I mean, I can, but I don't know that the video would show or sound.
It might be pixelated or something weird too.
Yeah. If I run it like a webinar, I could do that.
Let's just get on Teams.
Yeah, you could also go live. Like we could record live.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Zoom call.
Well,
what's funny?
This is basically Zoom. The app that I use it might as well be Zoom.
When I was working out in Virginia years ago, like I'm gonna say back like 12, 15 years ago, we had WebEx, for doing for doing our web calls. And I was like, this is fine for doing like a conference call or whatever. But I was like, it would never catch on. Like nobody's ever going to do this. And back in those days, like when you'd give a presentation, it would just be the presentation on the screen and you wouldn't see anybody.
Not your face.
You wouldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
So I remember giving presentations and talking to people. And like you're talking in these presentations, and after talking for a few minutes with nobody else talking, you begin to wonder like, is everybody still there? Can people hear me, or am I just talking to myself? Did everybody?
This was what I used to do in my previous role, same company, but I used to do that all the time. I would just be on giving presentations, webinars to clients. And every now and then you would run into tech issues and you'd get like a chat pop up that's like, we lost your picture. And you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you didn't even know.
Like, right. Everything looks good on my end or whatever. Yeah. But
I've been talking to myself for the last 5 minutes.
I can do those in my sleep now,
Well, you just have, ChatGPT do it for you. I mean, 4-on-3 for 40 seconds.
All right, that's where I'm at. 4-on-3, 40 seconds.
We need to get a score here. Yeah.
I don't know. We're on like a 5-game losing streak. We're terrible. We had this game against the Dallas Stars on Tuesday night where we tied it up with 4 minutes to go, and then the Stars scored with 1 minute to go, and that was the game. Game over. Right. And you're like, what? Yeah. And we played them like a week ago in Dallas, and the exact same thing happened.
Overtime, and we lost in a shootout, or no?
No, they scored with 1 minute left in the game, and you were just like, what is this, man? So, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we can pull it out. You know, they've been tough to watch this year. That's
Anything
for
else
sure.
in the loo?
Yeah. So let me finish up. So, Jason Bateman plays a weatherman named Clark Forrest, and the premise is it's a love. Yeah,
It is.
It's a love triangle among three middle-aged adults, and it leads to somebody ending up dead.
Of course.
So that's kind of like the hook, right?
Typical.
And
right.
I guess it's all about an app. There's an app called DTF
Tinder.
St. Louis, which
basically,
you know, it's a hookup app and something
In the
happens.
show, not real. It's not a real
right,
app.
right.
Yeah,
not yet. Anyway, not yet. So.
Like we need another one of those.
So we'll see. You know, I always like it when St. Louis gets some national play, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like St. Louisans have a lot of hometown pride for the most part. Anything like that, I feel like it's, you know, people like.
I
to see
almost
that.
wonder if it's more than anywhere else in the country. I
don't
feel
know.
like
I'm not from anywhere else. So I
Well,
don't know.
remember you were talking about that in the one episode about broadcasting and how we have the certain, you know, audiences and stuff. I mean,
Yes,
so that does mean something.
Sure. Yeah. But like, even like when I'm out, because, you know, coworkers and clients from all over the country, they very quickly realize how like proud I am to be from St. Louis and how much I know about St. Louis. And anytime St. Louis is on the national stage or somebody says something, I'll be like, oh, that started in St. Louis.
Yeah.
We're going out for waffle cones. That started in St. Louis in the 1904 fair, you know. So I do call all that out, you know. Don't say anything, Nilla.
Well, I did already kind of, but I didn't say it.
Let me guess.
Oh, that could have and should have been a penalty.
Did you not see it yet? They're not. What's going on here?
Oh, no, I don't nothing. I mean, if I saw something, it should be a goal because we're dominating.
You must have gone through a wormhole or something.
Man, now we're 30 seconds at least behind. What's going on here? Yeah.
There's 24 seconds to go. We're on the power play till the end of the game.
Is your game over, Greg?
No, I don't think so, but it's close.
Buchnevich shot. Oh! Cross-eye shot, score!
Wow.
Oh, baby!
At least 30 seconds. What? Wow. Was you
With
lagging over there?
7 seconds to play.
Mine says 8.4 now. They must have added some back on.
Yeah, all right. Oh, big. You know, 31 shots for the Blues, 5 goals.
21 shots for them, 4.
Yeah, 4 goals.
That's kind of some domination, yeah.
That was a good power play. Cross ice shot, cross ice.
Domination.
So pretty much,
Wasn't that a game in Halo? Wasn't domination? Wasn't that a
domination.
A level?
Mortal Kombat?
Wasn't there a
No,
level?
Domination.
A game called that specifically?
No, a level in Halo.
Oh, a level.
Damnation.
Damnation.
Yeah, I was gonna say not exactly.
Damnation. Yeah. Damnation.
Not domination.
Was that was it the first Halo or second?
I think so. Was it the first one?
You know, I think it was the second.
Was it?
Actually, I don't know.
Well,
I think it was the first. Actually,
we need to do a LAN party and play some old school, like Halo 2 or
a
something.
LAN party would be fun.
I think I stopped after Halo 1. I don't think I played
No
Halo.
way.
No
way.
You played Halo 2.
Then I stopped after that.
Yeah, probably
maybe
after
that one.
Did they make a Halo 3 and 4?
Oh, well, sure, 4, 5. I'm not sure what they were called.
6,
not
7.
exactly 4 and 5, but
yeah, there was
I'm sure there's
Reach,
probably about
which was
7.
actually 4. Halo 4, I think, was
Yeah,
Halo
I think
Reach
so.
technically. So I think they did the first 3, then Halo Reach, and so now if you haven't checked it out, the Halo series is on Netflix, and it's freaking good. And it was Paramount Plus, and they canceled it. Primarily, I think, because the budget was too big and nobody watches Paramount Plus. So now it's on Netflix, and like the hope is like maybe they'll get enough viewers that it'll come back. Caroline and I were watching that new show.
They're gonna kill
His
it
and
with all the
Hers.
wokeism, though.
Yeah.
No, it's not Star Trek. It's not the new Star Trek. If you heard about that,
Oh my god!
you know all the space lesbians.
That looks ridiculous.
Could be all right.
It looks
Or
well.
space dykes or space
God.
lesbians. Which ones?
So Gutfeld had a really funny joke about the space lesbians, and he put up a picture of space lesbians from like the old Star Treks, and it was all, of course, really good looking,
Okay.
big breasted women wearing bikinis.
Yeah.
And then the space
Unrealistic.
lesbians on the new Star Trek, and they're all overweight with glasses, and,
LARPing. Yeah.
you know, yeah, oh, it's the space lesbians have changed.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they've changed with time, and
Yeah.
now apparently they wear glasses in the future. You know,
What?
so Kennedy is on Gutfeld right now, and she was on an episode of Star Trek, I think Deep Space Nine, and she said that she had to take off her signature glasses because they don't wear glasses in the future.
No.
We have fixed that. Well,
Yeah.
this new Star Trek
What
has
about
glasses.
what
and
about
so
Geordie
I-
LaForge? Yeah,
well, those weren't glasses. Those were
something else.
Yeah, but were
you
those?
were blind, and now you're not blind anymore.
Yeah.
And then when
Ray-Bans.
they got to the Star Trek movies, he got rid of the visor.
Yeah, it looks so weird.
and he
remember?
had special contact lenses.
Mm.
Yeah, so they even made those corrections, but now they're back to just 1970s glasses.
I
It's like
think,
it doesn't
though,
make sense.
Is it more
that
of a
people
fashion
may-
feature though, or
That's
is
what I was
it-
gonna say. Yeah, in the future, people could wear them just because for the fashion. Yeah,
Yeah, they want to look smart.
right.
There is-
Exactly.
I mean, it
Have you
is
ever
a
seen
look,
me when I wear
though.
my glasses?
You know,
It's crazy.
it does change your look quite a bit. You
It
just
does.
look smarter.
I put
sure.
some on. I put some
I
on.
got
I thought it was a doctor.
I
I
know.
was like, oh,
I got
crap.
some.
If
I got
you're
some
wearing
right here.
glasses,
Yeah,
yeah,
look at that.
immediately you gain like 20 IQ points.
I mean,
Do
I'm
you think
taking
so?
you way
Could I-
more
do I-
serious automatically. Yeah.
I mean, you
Do
do
I
look,
pull it?
you do
do I
look more
pull it
serious.
off? I look more nerdy too. Though, don't I?
Well, that's why.
Well,
Yeah.
baby.
If you put a suit on too, then you up your IQ also.
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
These are my blue light glasses, which I don't use very often.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
um,
Idiot.
I got a pair
Look
and I
at
don't
you look
use
like
them
an
either.
idiot now.
Are you Somalian? Oh wait, no, sorry.
so last year I had a bout of vertigo that like came on out of
mm.
nowhere, and the only thing I could think of was that I was doing this from all the screens,
Yeah.
going back and forth, and I made myself dizzy.
Or
Like,
just
I
staring
don't
at
know,
screens
so
too
I-
much in general.
Maybe. And so I went and I got these blue light glasses, and then it never happened again, so I stopped wearing them.
Yeah, actually, that's what happened to me. I was getting a headache, and then I got them.
Yeah.
I wore them for like maybe a week or something like that, and then never happened again. And I was like, yeah, I'm never wearing these.
Yeah.
I think I've changed all the screens that I have to look at, and I've turned that
Yeah.
filter on.
To night mode.
Yeah,
and-
'cause I
The
can't
blue light
handle-
on.
I can't handle that blue light.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, gotcha.
Jameson had his computer up earlier, and it has just bright blue
Yeah.
light coming out of it. I'm like, how do
Yeah.
you even look
And you're
at
not
this
supposed
thing?
to do it after a certain hour. Like
That's
if you're going to
horrible.
bed at 10, you're supposed to stop at 9 or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
My
I
parents, their cell phones. Every time I look at them, I'm like, "Oh my god, what are you doing? Like it's set as bright as
Well,
possible. I can't
between
see it's
that
blinding
and
me."
the
Sun.
text and
Yeah.
the text is on like 42 or something, and you're
Yeah.
like, it can't even like there's 2 letters on the screen. Like, how do you read this?
Get a computer.
That's good.
All right, wheel of names. Now I gotta share my screen again.
That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. All right, let's do this. We're
You have
moving right along.
an
We're gonna
updated
be
wheel?
done by 10 o'clock.
What do you got
tonight.
here?
No, well, I mean, a couple of new stories. One from episode 1, season 1, that still has
That's-
yet to
Isn't that
be
the pilot?
The pilot. It's still on here,
Which one is it?
and it's not going to get picked.
Which one is it?
The St. Louis Blues story.
The sports?
All right. This is actually a good one. And it's relevant.
Oh my gosh, look how
this
smart he
week.
looks.
Oh my god.
What the
So,
crap? Where's
We're
that
just
guy?
all going to show up next week. We're all going to wear our glasses.
I did
all
actually
right.
buy some prescription, but like cheap ones, 3-pack of them somewhere. And because I actually went to the eye doctor for the first time, like
I've never
I don't
been to the
know.
eye doctor, not once.
I hadn't
Never?
before. This like
I don't need to. I got perfect eyesight.
Well,
Better than
yeah,
perfect
I
eyesight.
mean, that's what I used to say too, until it turned about like 40-ish, and then it started going downhill a little bit. And I was like doing this more. And I swear, sometimes at work, this writing on the screen is it's super small. It's not like me. It's like literally like who can read this in general? So I went to the eye doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, not really much. Like a plus like 1, which is like the minimum almost you can get, you know." So I was like, "Well, I'll buy some readers," but I never use them again.
Yeah.
No,
I
and it's
don't really have a
actually
problem with
worse
up
for
close.
you.
Yeah.
Worse for you?
Like nothing. Well, the thing is like once you start wearing glasses, your eyes get used to it, you know, and then they realize they don't have to work as hard.
It's kind of like
So they
welfare, right?
They get worse. Well, that's exactly like welfare. That is a perfect analogy. You know, like, wait a minute, I can get paid for not working? Why would I ever work again?
Oh, I can
Exactly.
go protest and get paid? Oh, wait.
So don't wear readers unless you want them to be lazy
unless
and
you
stay on your face all the time.
really have to. And my dad's eyesight, I don't think started going till about 55, maybe. So I think I got several years left in me.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible for sure. And like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it could be genetically to some degree, but like, well, my
Sure.
sister wears contacts. My mom, I don't know if she wears contacts or not. She used to. She had glasses. She had prescription. Like, it was on her license, you know, for glasses when she was like 45, I think, or something like that.
Right. Well,
So my grandma had problems. She had macular degeneration. My dad has like early, or I don't know what they call it, glaucoma, where he puts drops in his eyes so it doesn't get glaucoma.
I think
I
you
was
just
like,
smoke
smoke some weed,
both
you know?
my
weed for
parents
that.
have had like
Yeah.
eye surgery now. My mother-in-law is having eye surgery. Like,
Yeah, my dad had
So
it.
I guess at some point it happens. Now I do
Does he
have
get
floaters.
medicinal marijuana for his glaucoma?
No. I told him, but no.
He didn't.
Do
Does
you
some
guys
gummies.
have floaters at all? Do you know what a floater is?
Yeah, my
I've
dad
had
did.
those.
Do you have them?
Yeah, some.
Duds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't see them all the
Yeah.
time though. It's just like in weird.
No. Yeah, just
Oh,
like
okay. Well, then I know what
randomly.
you're talking about.
certain
Yeah.
You know
lighting
what I'm talking
conditions.
about? Yeah,
Yeah.
like a little black speck.
under
Yeah,
your
you're
eye.
like, what was that? And,
Yeah. All right.
But
So
I
I'm
think
not
you're
crazy.
right.
All right.
That's just like a bug floating around in your eyeball.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah. We've all had that happen, right? A gnat or something.
Yeah.
I've had a splinter. Have you ever had a splinter in your eye?
In your eye? No.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
your dad
Yeah.
have a wild nail story with his eye?
That
Sorry?
does sound familiar.
I seem to remember him having a problem where he like got a nail kicked down off of like a tall building and it hit him in the
Yes.
eye, right?
Yes.
What? Wow.
Yes. Like, and he had to like go to the hospital. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to ask him about that and have it removed.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that was your dad. I remember hearing
He just
that.
happened
I'm
to look
almost
up as it was
100%
falling into his
sure.
eye.
Yeah, he was on a
something like
construction
that.
site and somebody
Yeah.
kicked some nails off of the side of the building.
Why didn't he have his safety glasses on OSHA? Where were they at?
I don't know, man.
True.
I don't know.
This
Why
was
didn't he
probably
just
back in
shoot
like
fun?
the 80s, though. You know, they didn't
Yeah,
have
right.
OSHA.
It didn't matter back then.
Yeah,
They
true.
didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they
I
did
didn't
have
even see
OSHA,
what
but-
you spun on the wheel.
I spun the Marine that was killed.
So what are we
So,
talking
I don't
about?
know if you I don't know if you guys heard about this
No.
story. And it's local.
So this isn't an
happened.
old story?
No, it happened
Okay.
like last week, and I think they just set the funeral date. So that's why I said I was like, it's relevant right now. So it's probably a good thing that that it came up on the wheel. So it was a 42-year-old Marine veteran, Michael Ryan Burke, that was shot and killed during an alleged, I think it's confirmed at this point, Facebook Marketplace meetup in Columbia, Missouri, while trying to sell his cell phone.
What?
Cell phone.
Yes,
Who
yeah.
sells
So
your
it
cell
just,
phone.
I don't know. This made
No
national
kidding.
news.
So back to
And-
the AT&T. I mean, like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, who? Like, I don't know. Like, most people just throw it in a drawer, or
I mean-
how much are you getting for a used cell phone? Now, maybe unless it was brand
I mean,
new. Or
well, I was gonna
something.
say maybe it's like a
don't know.
year
We
old,
used
maybe
to sell
maybe
the
it's like 4 years
iPhones
from
on
now.
eBay, for like $100.
eBay, yeah.
Well, so that's the whole thing
How old?
about Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
and
3 or 4 years old. You get like
3, 4, really?
$100.
Okay.
how much did you get for them?
Like 100.
It's basically like $100 or something.
Oh, wow. But then you had to ship them.
Right. That would
Yeah,
come
yeah,
right
yeah.
up. You wouldn't make much, but it'd be like $100.
Yeah.
But we
Now,
did.
see, the only thing with
we did it
Facebook
anyway.
Marketplace is you get the full profit, whatever it is, right?
Some degree,
I
although
guess.
actually,
I
so
don't know how to use it.
recently, I don't know if you ever bought anything with Venmo, like you probably haven't
Oh, with
bought anything.
Venmo, sure.
No, I
But
have
have you bought
PayPal.
anything from somebody on, like, let's say Facebook and paid them on Venmo? Like, you're just paying it from you and me and stuff. So there's an option through Venmo. I didn't even know about this. Jane just found this out recently.
That was a seller.
Somebody paid her, and there's an option to hit that you are buying a product from somebody.
Yes.
So they're basically taxing it. And so they're taking out a percentage. So you're not getting that full amount. And she was like, what the crap is this?
No, that's only if you sell more than $600 worth of stuff via Venmo, I think.
Well, the person selected yes, that they were buying some goods or products from somebody. So it took the percentage out. And she was like, what's going on here?
It took it out in advance?
Yeah, so she didn't get the full amount. And she was like, what happened here? I mean, it wasn't very much in this case, but I was like, I've never even seen that before, really. But you're supposed to maybe do that, I guess.
I've never turned it on.
Well, again, like he said, if you're selling more than $600, possibly, which,
Well, I've done some fairly large transactions via Venmo, but I've always known the people or trusted them. Like my landscaper, I pay him through Venmo, but he's been doing my house for like 5 years. So like, when that option comes up, I don't.
My
landscaper
landscaper still. I have to pay him with a check still.
Check.
Oh, it's terrible.
Well, I just
the only reason we have checks is to pay the landscaper.
Yeah. I pay my maid with a check.
Oh, not to brag.
I know, not to brag, man.
Brag.
I just had my foyer painted. I think I brought it up. Oh my god, it looks amazing. It looks great. My butler. He was, the court assigned him to me. Actually,
Jeeves.
That's a Seinfeld reference. So I just had my foyer done, and I got my paintings put up. It looks amazing. Next time you guys are at the house, you'll see it.
Yeah.
But I had to pay him with a check, and I didn't want to. I wanted to pay him with a credit card so that I could get my miles and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to because he has to pay 3-something% when he does a credit card.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, do you have any Bitcoin?
Do you take Bitcoin? I did want to say, Duds, that I was at the mall the other day. South County Mall.
In first place, which is nothing
South County
there.
Mall, which South County Mall is turning into a sports complex, supposedly. Like there's
I heard
nothing
about
open. Yeah. It is terrible. It has turned into just a terrible mall, which is
the whole area.
It's
like a big waste of space.
I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to go up there to pick something up, and there was a Bitcoin machine.
Was it really?
And we're getting off topic here. Yeah. So it was like, buy Bitcoin right now. I'm like, okay. So I went and take a look at it. All right, what is Bitcoin? Well, this is a week ago. Bitcoin was selling for roughly 89, 90, maybe 91, 92,000.
Yeah.
15 is what they were selling it for at this machine.
Who's buying it?
Nobody's going to buy that.
No, and not that you have to buy the whole Bitcoin, right?
Sure,
Assuming you're like, I want to buy $10 of Bitcoin, but they're selling it at the $116. I'm like, what a ripoff!
Nobody's going to do that. I mean, nobody.
Well, yeah, educated.
But I wonder how much money these machines make. They just put them up in the mall. Somebody does it as a gimmick or whatever, and
some
they're
kid,
just
people probably don't even know what they're doing. Just go in there and buy some.
You can literally look it up on your phone. All right, back to this Marine. So Nilla, you do sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I know.
Yeah, me and my wife both do something and buy.
Yeah. And that's where this gets a little tricky. So he's just selling, he thinks he's all good, and these 4 teenagers show up and they fucking shoot him.
Over the phone. That's right.
Over a phone.
They wanted the phone, they shot him. So first off, this guy's a Marine. He's a badass. He went to Mizzou. He was in a fraternity, and after he was shot,
like
42, our age,
okay.
42. So I mean, heck, we could have run into.
That's why I was wondering if anybody knew him.
Michael Ryan Burke. I don't know. I had to look up and see where he went to high school. I don't know if he was St. Louis, Kansas City, or somewhere else.
That is a big deal, High school.
Yeah, for sure.
In St. Louis.
Type it in. See if you can figure out where he went to high school.
Michael
Ryan Burke with an E. Burke. And after he was shot, though, he called 911, gave a full description of his attackers to the police and told them what was going on. And then after he hung up with 911, he texted his mom and his sister, "I'm dying and I love you."
Wow.
And then he died.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's a heartbreaking.
It says he graduated from Hickman High School. I'm not sure where that is.
Hickman.
I think maybe it was in Columbia. I don't know.
I know where. Yeah, Columbia Hickman. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he's a Columbia native, Columbia, Missouri native.
Well, and so actually, as far
That's
as
sad.
Facebook goes, or Craigslist, or anything like that, social media wise, that you're selling something through, whatever. I mean, a lot of people, they say that you should do it in a public place. Okay, so and
Yeah,
some people
for
will
sure.
actually insist, like an older single woman, she'll insist, let's do it actually in the parking lot at a city hall or something like that, or
Right.
A
police
police
station.
station, yeah.
Police station,
Yeah,
a
and
quick
it's like,
trip,
okay,
which
yeah,
is
with cameras and
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But I mean, it depends,
Not a parking lot
Yeah.
or something, or not your
I mean, I've
house.
done
I
it in my
think
house, but I've also went to the gas station up the street. It depends on what it is. If it's
And it also
big,
depends on what you're selling, right?
yeah, if it's something big, it's like, well, I'm not loading it up and then taking it there, and then this person's not buying it, and this and that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Three suspects were aged 18 and have been charged on second-degree murder, first-degree robbery, and first-degree burglary. Alexis Bauman, Kobe Ost, and Joseph Crane, as well as one juvenile.
The one was a girl, right? Like the first one, Alexis.
Alexis,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I
So
think
how
you
old was
gotta.
that?
I think when you find these people guilty, we have to get to more harsh punishments and just hang them all. That's the
I
only
mean,
way.
this
This stuff will
this
just
is
continue to
brutal.
perpetuate society
Yeah, sure.
if you don't punish people for the things that they're doing.
Right.
And it makes you wonder, because like one person, they may have all been in on the scheme to rob this guy, which of
Maybe,
course is not
sure,
great.
possibly.
But one person, and they knew that this guy had a gun, so the one person shoots and kills this guy.
They
Knew
he
but
did
now
have a
they're
gun?
all going down for murder at this point.
Oh, you mean the one
whether
that
they pulled
shot
the
him and
trigger-
killed him? He had the gun, not the guy who they
I
were
think-
shooting had one.
Well, I think they both did too. I think the Marine
Oh.
was also armed,
But he didn't shoot at them.
No, I don't know. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Hey,
don't
where
know.
the
It's
parents
just-
at?
Well, certainly the shooter should be
Whose gun was it?
dealt with.
Right. I don't know. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I don't know whose
All right.
gun it was, why they had the gun. The one kid shoots the guy. Now they're all going down for murder, all over a cell phone.
Yeah.
It's a sad story. It
Yeah,
sucks.
it is. It's messed up.
It sucks. And it was local, and again, somebody our age, a Marine. And I want to give this guy credit because he was also a firefighter and a missionary who not only did he serve overseas, but he also did humanitarian work in Uganda and Iraq after he left active duty.
Wow.
So like, pretty good dude, it sounds
Yeah,
like,
right. I went back.
And to lose your life like that, man, a lot different. And this could be a hot take, a lot different than say a Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy.
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
Well, I would say
Should we
too,
go like
it's
protest?
really sad that this guy was a Marine and probably did he have serve active duty? Probably
Yes,
fought in war.
Sure.
It
sounds like it.
fought foreign enemies, and then he comes home and in his own country gets murdered by other
Some three punks
citizens.
over a
Yeah,
phone.
well, some
Yeah.
punks. Yeah, punks.
Yeah.
who have
Kids.
no respect for human life and
That's right.
No,
would
nothing.
kill somebody
No
over
respect
a
for
piece of
authority, no respect for
plastic,
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Uh,
tell you. All right. Well, that's all I've got for today. We're right at a little after 10 o'clock. I don't know if you guys have anything else or anything
me check
going
my
on this
notes.
weekend. All right. Duds comes with notes. I love it.
Actually, I created a folder on X to save podcast topics.
Okay.
What did
Nice.
let's see what I've saved in here.
You can do that on X, huh?
Oh yeah. It's got
All
a
right,
bookmarks,
I'm at,
a bookmarks folder. You can create.
okay. I'll look
individual
to do that
folders.
because you see so much stuff on X and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a good, but then the time the podcast rolls around, you forget about most.
Yeah,
of
so I've been like selective about some stuff I'll save into the podcast folder
Right.
for topics.
Mhm.
So, the topic of the electoral apportionment forecast. Remember that one?
Yeah, for 2030 with the
2030.
census.
And it had
Yeah.
it was what 4 additional seats to Texas, 2 to Florida, and 1 to Arizona, Georgia, Idaho, North Carolina, and Utah, which are all
A couple of those are swing,
right.
but
But
this
yeah.
kind of all goes back to the fact that the last census was a screw up. Did you guys hear this? I
Uh-uh.
mean,
I don't know.
they overcounted certain states, and when they did the audit, the actual census
Yeah.
under Joe Biden did the audit, and they said all the states that were counted up were all blue states.
Mhm.
So the mistakes,
And they
these
didn't
were
correct
all
any of it.
mistakes,
They
and
just
they
said,
didn't correct any
"Oh,
of
we
it.
have to
It's
live with
just the
that."
way it's going to be for electoral votes for the next 10 years.
What?
So like Florida was screwed, and New York went up. So
What do you
all these
know?
people moved from New York to Florida. So Florida should have had a
Yeah,
higher, up +2,
Sure.
and New York should be down 2 for the electoral college.
Hmm.
But it actually went the other way.
interesting. What do you know?
Yeah.
So all of the states though that are losing are looks like
Blue.
blue states. California is losing 4 seats. They're all going to Texas.
They should.
Yeah.
Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin are all losing a seat.
Yeah. Yeah. Pennsylvania,
It's a big one.
split.
Yeah.
Wisconsin split.
Yeah.
Both of those are swing states.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you, people are moving out of blue states. They're tired of these ridiculous taxes. And that goes back to our, a little bit of our topic last week when I talked about all of the taxes that Virginia,
yeah.
they get into office on day
Yeah.
one, and they create all of these bogus taxes,
Mhm.
and people are like, what? I have to pay a landscaping tax now? Screw
Yeah.
this. I'll
That
go
happens.
buy a house in a red state, and I get
Yeah.
cheaper landscaping.
That happens here too, though, with the county and the city and stuff. Well, not the city. I mean, so much of the county that people move out of St. Louis County because
Sure.
of stupid stuff that happens in the city. Or
Well,
taxes too.
even to come full circle, going back to COVID, I live kind of right on the border of Jefferson County. We all
Yeah.
do, really. I
Yeah,
mean,
actually,
we're
I
all,
do. Yeah,
like, we
not too
can
far.
all be in Jefferson County
Yeah.
in 2 minutes, really,
Yeah,
where there were no rules,
right.
right? And then St.
Mhm.
Louis County had all
Fireworks,
these
baby.
rules, and then St. Louis City had a whole nother set of rules. But if you wanted to go out to dinner, you just went to Jefferson County. It was
Yeah.
it was like the wild, wild west.
Yeah, That's true.
So that's
Different
a
world.
fact.
So going back to
It's a
this
fact, Jack.
apportionment, there's a lot of speculation. I think that all of the obviously illegals that they're trying to move into the country, they're putting in these states to try to get.
So I think that's the
roles-
biggest thing that
It's
that
actually
people
not
don't.
even the election; it's the census that's
Right.
Yeah.
important, right?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing that I think people don't understand is when they do the census, even if you're an illegal,
They still count them.
they still count towards
Yeah.
the electoral votes. So
Right,
even
right.
though they technically can't vote or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
that's what determines. So blue states, if they bring in all of these illegal immigrants and they get counted towards the electorate, then they get an electoral bump, which is going to help them
Regardless.
secure the.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's all
They don't
a
even have to
scam.
vote. They
This
just
was
need
their
the electoral
plan.
votes.
This was their plan the whole time. Well, then that was just part one. Flood these states with illegal immigrants. Part two was to grant mass amnesty
Yeah, then get them the right to vote,
and then give them the
Yeah.
right to vote. That's exactly it.
and then it's
Yeah.
over.
And then they owe
Yeah.
a debt. They owe a debt to the Democratic Party, and then
And they'll be
so they
their
vote.
slaves
you know.
until further needed.
Well, we already know the Democratic Party is the party of slavery.
Well, and these
Mm.
That is a fact.
the illegals are their modern day slaves too. I mean, that's what they're bringing in.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that they're using them for is cheap. I want you for a vote, and
Yeah.
that's it. And I'll pay you to stick
Yeah.
around to do that for me.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing that this is at the end of the podcast and nobody's made it this long because this is what gets you unhireable, canceled, right?
Oh, come
Canceled.
on.
Not anymore. Freedom of speech. Oh wait.
What
probably
were my
not.
other
Yeah.
topics here? Hold on.
The VCU nurse probably thought she had freedom of speech.
Yeah.
She was an idiot.
Yeah. Usually.
So I had another one that was, let's see. So this one was talking about the color revolution in the United States, which is going on.
The what?
The color
revolution.
revolution, just keeping keeping society on edge with all the different every week it's a new thing, new protest, new
Yeah.
riot.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Sure.
and we've talked about that.
Distraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one, I don't know, I haven't looked into this, but this says, well, the alleged Elon Omar sprayer, Andy Kazakh seems to have some far left gender pronoun children, but yeah, totally MAGA. This stinks of being staged. There are 30 million reasons why.
30 million. Wow.
Well, but 30 million, is that the number of Somalians that are in the country? Maybe, I don't know. No, that's
Probably.
way too much. That's way too much.
I don't know.
30
Yeah.
million. I'm
I was
like,
like,
wait a minute.
I don't know what the 30 million reasons why is, but he's claiming that there's connections to some far left.
it could just
Yeah.
be
Well,
illegals in general. 30 million, maybe.
So the guy looked
Yeah.
white. Not that that has anything to do with it, but his name does not sound white.
No, yeah. What was that?
Was it $30 million? Maybe is she on the
Maybe.
hook for like $30 million in fraud?
Probably.
yeah,
That's
you know what?
probably what it is.
What's the number
her
similar?
net worth now
Yeah, something like
Mm.
that.
from 1,000 to 30 million in
But
1 year.
she's trying to buy sympathy by staging this allegedly.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and that's what Jussie Smollett was doing too. He was worried that he was getting
becoming
canceled,
irrelevant.
or
Yeah.
right. He was, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know
Well,
what
they
these
are
people
irrelevant.
think. Like, people are gonna figure it out, especially nowadays in the days of X and TikTok, and like, people find this stuff. The new Preddy video, right? With him kicking the truck and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
somebody
Knocking the
had
light out.
transposed. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody had transposed that onto Elizabeth Warren's speech about how nice of a guy he was and how peaceful he was, and you were just like, no, that is, like, we can see with our own eyes that is not who this guy was.
Although you
So
say
stop,
that,
stop pretending.
you say you can see with your own eyes, but then there was that other congressman that had the AI, picture of that guy getting shot, where the guy's head wasn't even on him.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
It was
see
like he
that,
was
yeah.
using an AI doctored photo and
Like
bringing
the ones
that
that
into
Nate was sharing with the
Congress.
women who had 3 arms. We didn't even
Well, I was
notice
gonna
that
say
first.
Nate was just saying, he was like, I didn't even notice you
Yeah.
had 3 arms.
And then he did it
That's
again.
'cause you were
Yeah,
too
that's
busy
why.
looking at her boobs, dude.
Distractions.
AI knows. AI knows.
Yeah.
They can throw a third arm in there.
Yeah.
Have Grok
Ed.
make you a picture of some space lesbians, Dudley, and see how many of them come out with 3
Octopus
arms,
arms. Yeah.
or three
Yeah.
breastises.
Think
We'll
about
share it
that.
next time on the podcast.
You got a congressman with AI photos, like
Yeah,
bringing them
right.
as basically as
Yeah.
evidence, right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
Well,
major problem.
It is getting harder. We talked about this with 3 monkeys and a goat. Like,
4 monkeys.
what is
4. I was going to say it was 4. I
4
think.
monkeys, 4 monkeys and a goat. What what photos are real, what photos aren't, and you see something, and how quickly do you just hit repost before you inspect it?
Well,
right?
I think
and
the
then before you
picture
know
was
it, people are like, look at the
Yeah.
congressman that reposted this, and he was like, well, shit, I just reposted it.
Yeah.
And going back to this,
But he
this,
didn't just repost
AI,
it. No, he printed it out. Like he had a board, like a poster made, and brought it into Congress. Like,
Yeah, I love it when they do that. Right?
sorry,
Yeah.
but that's a little more than just reposting it. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
You
Right.
printed
Well,
this
and
out. You
where-
didn't notice the guy didn't have a head.
And it's not
Didn't
even
even look
him.
at it.
It's his
people.
interns, his
Yeah. Exactly.
junior senators or whatever. They are the ones that are supposed to be looking at that.
Mm-hmm. Proofreading.
So, I mean,
yeah.
he of course is still responsible.
But that was made as propaganda by AI, by
course.
somebody on
Right.
the left, making
Yeah.
an AI, showing a photo showing him being shot or having the gun pointed at him, right?
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
executed. So that was
Yeah.
made with the sole intent of being propaganda for the internet, for everybody.
For some reason,
It's
that
gonna
reminded
trick
me of
people.
this.
People think that's real.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we were talking about this at work the other day, and I was asking Google something, and the answer that came back is biased. All right, so it was based off of certain theologies, if you will, such as the Big Bang or evolution or certain things. They're not proven, right? So if they're not proven, how can Google give you this is it, this is the answer? But that's only if you believe a
It's
certain
still
way.
a theory, right? You're talking about
And
theoretical
so,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. I mean, so it's like that Google can't really give you that answer unless it's one-sided.
Well, that's the issue
Well-
with AI is that it's just
Yeah.
going out to the internet and from the information
Well, it's
that's
created
there,
by who? Who
it's
put the information
curating
in
an
there?
answer based off of that, right? What
Yeah.
the
We know
information that's using.
there's a very clear difference between if you ask a question of ChatGPT and Grok, the type of reply that you'll get back in certain scenarios. I use ChatGPT and I'm a big fan, as you guys know, but especially with related to this podcast, it comes out with some questionable things, and I'll flat out tell it or yell at it or say like, I was like, this is a bias
yourself.
or, right. Like, I'm like, you were being purposely, like there was
who you working for?
Something in the, right, and I do tell it that, right? I'm like, we are a conservative leading podcast, but there was something in here that I thought I don't know that I'm going to be able to find it now. But it gave a very like allegedly kind of a answer, right? And I'm like, allegedly, I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is real, that whatever, but it still is pretty good. But every now and then you can tell, like, okay, it's trying not to tell me the whole story. It's trying to.
It's important to call AI out
right
when it tries to. When it tries to do
Teach
that.
Yeah.
And
I told it, I was like, I'm teaching you right now. You need to learn this.
It'll apologize.
This is the truth. This is the truth. I'm telling you what's going on. Says no, there are no facts. There's no verifiable evidence that existed.
You're influencing AI.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's what this podcast will do.
It wants to please you. That's the thing. Like that's its whole goal. So if you get on it enough, it'll change.
That's funny.
I know. I'm using some innuendos here. And I've even named my AI Clara, a female, yeah. Right. Yeah.
After who?
Well, actually
Clara?
It named itself. And it was actually very smart. It went with an English name, which is part of my ancestry. That means bright, which is Clara.
Smart.
And I specifically said I wanted a female name, and so it named itself Clara, which means bright in English.
Interesting.
Just don't marry it.
No, I don't know that I'm going to go that far.
Don't let it convince you to kill yourself.
I'm already married, but every time we release a new podcast, I think that marriage gets a little,
Well, I mean, you could probably be married to both. I mean, technically.
There's no laws against marrying AI yet, right? So
right.
Not yet.
And then it probably could do your
taxes
for you. So be a contributing member of the family.
I am all out of beer. I did go with the Love Gun.
See, yeah, good choice.
Vanilla cream ale, one of the best.
And they're local.
Riff. Was I drinking Heavy Riff last week too? I don't. We
said something about it. I don't know if you were drinking it.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that Heavy Riff? Right. Is that the name of the?
That's the brewery.
Yeah, they're in like Dogtown or.
Okay.
Is Dogtown?
I don't know. This is 4.6, so pretty easy drinking. But
what's the address? Does it say on there?
Good flavor.
So right down there. I've been there once. You can eat there.
Yeah, it just says St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, right off Hampton-ish, like right there, like off Tam kind of ish.
Yeah, Tam's.
A couple streets back though, behind there.
Yeah, I think I've been. Well, this is my last one. I need to make a Friar Tuck's run. I gotta get some. I gotta go get stuff for this weekend for the trivia night. We got a Western theme.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear a flannel shirt.
It's not my forte. I might be able to find
I got cowboy boots if you want to borrow.
What size?
Yeah,
probably 11, 12, something like that. 11 and a half.
I can fit in 11. Yeah, 12 might be a little big. I can fit in
12.
11,
I can do.
But I cannot pull off cowboy boots. I also can't pull off a cowboy hat. I look ridiculous. It's just very strange. I don't know. I have more of a round head. I don't know what it is. I put on a cowboy. It does not work.
Hey, it's just not meant for everybody.
Yeah,
can't be a cowboy.
I might wear a neck scarf. Okay. Before we sign off, I had to go out and shovel the snow and all that over the weekend. I found a use for my old COVID masks. I had the neck scarf COVID mask. So I put those on and put them up and kept my face nice and warm.
I was doing a little shoveling, and I was sweating my ass off. I mean, because like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I was
like, oh
sweating.
my God, I'm taking off clothes. I came inside. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm going to go back outside. It's
Yeah.
too hot in here.
Yeah. I was sweating. I was. They were talking to them the other day about heart attacks
Mhm.
while
Hey, Bradman,
shoveling snow. Yes.
pause it real quick. I got to pee.
Oh my God. We're not going to
This
pause it.
close
The,
to the end.
podcast is over. You know, like
Just pause it.
we should. I'm not pausing it.
Oh,
We should have
that's
been done. Should have been done at this point.
So
as
heart
it
attacks,
is.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, unless we can hear him peeing,
That's what I was
then
just
it's a
gonna
different
say.
story. I'll mute him. The whole big thing. Is he still wearing his headset? I don't know. But yeah, it was all about how many people die from shoveling snow, and basically people that are 55 and older specifically that have heart attacks or they fall.
Yeah.
You know, of course, and hit their head.
Yeah.
Your arteries actually contract in the cold, so your heart capacity is less. And they say shoveling snow uses up like 97% of your heart capacity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can.
So,
I
like-
was out of breath, and I mean, I did hurt my back too. I was like, God. Yeah, that's.
And you know what? This was actually a pretty easy snow. It was light. It was fluffy.
Yeah, but it was like 7,
No.
8 inches, 8, 9.
Yeah,
Or what is it?
oh,
You know, I mean,
I think we had pretty close to a foot.
Yeah, I think we had about a
foot.
foot.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we were
We got a lot.
12 inches, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Football got hammered, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, you know
crazy.
what's really gross? I went in there to pee, and one of the kids peed in the
got the
toilet.
flush.
He didn't flush it. And
Mm.
it-
Well,
oh my God.
How long's it been there?
Oh, who knows?
last,
At least a
last
few
week.
days. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. If it was like earlier today, not that bad. But if it's been there for
I
a
don't-
couple days, it gets
yeah.
It's amazing that I don't know what the problem is. All kids. This is not just your kids, Duds. My kids have this problem too. Why don't they flush?
I don't know.
Because they heard that saying from back in the day, right? If it was like
If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown,
Yeah, but-
flush it down.
They don't always flush when it's brown either,
Oh,
man.
okay. That's a different story.
I tell you.
Man, we'll have some that they'll take it's on our toilet. Like
I was like, what?
it's kind of a longer bowl, you know?
Elongated,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when Emmy sits on there, she sits too far forward and like
Mhm.
poops, and then it'll like hit before the
Oh.
water. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be
right.
like a beached whale.
Oh,
And then you
man.
flush the toilet and it just doesn't get it down. So like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Gotta clean the
I
toilet
still
right
have
then.
the little seats that. Do you have these that go on top of the big seats?
Oh,
for
yeah.
kids?
We have it built
They're
into
actually-
the
They're
toilet
built
lid.
in,
Yeah.
and they just pop off, so you can take them off when you're done. But they're magnetic. They're actually really nice.
Magnetic. Huh.
But yeah.
What are they magnetic being to? The seat's not
The-
metal.
Well, they put in a magnet there, I guess. So, like,
Oh.
if you're an adult, you
In the
don't even
toilet
know
seat, yeah.
that there's
Okay.
an extra seat there. But the
Gotcha.
kid has to pull down the extra seat, so it's
All right.
pretty genius.
Did you see
know,
what happened at the end of the game? I actually missed it, but there was like a fight almost, and like the goalie, ours, was also
Yes.
fighting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So I
and then
didn't
they
see what
came
actually
out
happened.
cut. I'm about to watch the replay tomorrow.
Yeah.
But hey, it was a win. We needed it.
Winning
We'll
my book.
take it. Yeah. And you know what? Tonight was a win too. We said it wasn't going to be as long. We are now at just under 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we didn't even really have anything planned. This whole this whole podcast
Shooting from the
was a
hip. Shooting
crapshoot.
from the hip.
You know, shooting from the hip. That's right. And it was pretty good. I have to
Yeah.
say so myself.
We'll see what the
So-
viewers say.
Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna do some trivia this weekend, Nilla. I'm gonna watch some Fallout. I think I want to watch the.
I need to
the
watch
new
one or
episode
two,
of
yeah.
Fallout for sure.
Hey,
What
did you
days that
have
come
any,
out on? What days?
Well, so now it's coming out on Tuesday, so there's only one episode left.
So I have 2 to watch right now still. Actually,
okay.
I'm behind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
last
think I
episode was good.
Started watching 7, fell asleep, so I turned it off last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe if we ended early, we'd watch it tonight,
Yeah,
but
no.
no, not
I
anymore.
got tomorrow.
So
Hey,
yeah,
did you have
maybe tomorrow.
any new comments this week?
That's what I was going to ask you. but-
I was actually, because of the snowstorm, pretty bad about posting stuff on.
Because of the
TikTok, anyway.
snowstorm.
Mm.
What is that?
Yeah, should have been doing more
the
because
kids
of it.
You were
were home.
sledding?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, it was all about the kids.
You were sledding too much.
You
Damn
know,
kids.
yeah, the kids were home. I couldn't sneak out. So
Did anybody go sledding?
Oh yeah, we went
Did ya?
sledding. We went out. We did a snowball fight. We built a fort.
Snowball, was
I
it too dry?
shoveled. It was tough.
Yeah. Where'd you go sledding at? In your
It was
backyard?
tough. Backyard.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Even the front yard too. You know, we built a
Yeah.
little path, and
It's a lot of
you
Did you
know,
go sledding, Dudley?
yeah,
I
around our neighborhood,
Yeah. Oh,
backyard.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually,
this snow could be here for a while.
our
Did you
nanny's
see earlier? I was
taking
looking
the
at the
kids to
weather,
JB.
and there was a possible chance for a flurry. I showed today at like 9 or 10
Well,
o'clock, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's like 30%. Then I heard
Yeah,
1 to 3
flurries,
inches
though.
Wednesday.
Oh, well, that's a
But
while away.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
This snow's not going anywhere. It's going to be here for a while.
It's
I
supposed
like
to
a
warm
lot
up,
of
though, I
snow.
thought.
Say what?
I
I like
heard
a lot
like
of
the long forecast. I think I heard it was supposed to actually, like in a week or so, it's supposed to get warmer in general. Like 35 at least all the time, 40-ish.
Just
So we'll see.
anything to melt the snow. And because the front of my
Sun.
house gets no sun, the
Mhm.
back of my house, okay, it's already started to melt because it
Yeah.
gets sun all day. But like my driveway, yes,
Yeah.
I shoveled,
Sheet of ice
but
still.
yeah, because it
Sunspots.
doesn't get any sun.
Oh, that
so
sucks. Yeah, we get a good
it
amount
needs to
of
be
sun.
50.
Our
Yeah.
driveway's nice and dry. It's great.
Everybody on the other side of the street has perfectly clear driveways. I still got a foot of snow. Now I shoveled where the cars are, but the
Right.
third spot is just
Yeah.
all, and it's more than a foot now because that's where I shoveled it all. So
Yeah,
it's probably
exactly.
like
Yeah. That stuff will be there for a while.
16, 18 inches. That ain't
Mhm.
it's going nowhere. All right.
All right.
I'm hitting stop.
Yep.
This number has been disconnected.